Winemaking is a simple process to understand, really. The yeast take the sugar in the grapes, turn it into alcohol. So you start with grapes, you end with wine. And as simple as that may be on the surface, it's endlessly compelling to watch these processes take place. So it took about one shot at this, and now I know that I'm hooked. There are reasons why words like magical and mystical are employed when dealing with this subject, because it's really an amazing thing to watch unfold. I'm Alan Baker, the Cellar Rat, and welcome to the Pinot 2.0 video podcast. We left off last time as we applied some heat to get things cooking here, and that's exactly what's happened. You can feel the heat and smell the CO2 bubbling off the cap here. We spent a couple of days at just over 90 degrees as fermentation went full tilt and quickly dropped from 22 brix or percent sugar down to about 6.8 in 3 days. That's over 15 brix, or half the sugar that was in our solution when we got started. So things are going to cool down now, and what I've been doing is I've been leaving the top off of the fermenters to cool things down as I do very gentle punch downs with my hands just to release some of that heat. And with the fermentation, as many things in life, you don't want to finish too soon. While the fermentation has been rolling along, the punch downs yield big swirling masses of bright purple bubbles, as you can see here. We started off with earthy, sweet juice and watched the color darken as we extracted color and flavor from the skins in the 5-day cold soak. And then as fermentation started, that core of black cherry and plum that was there is starting to get aromas of dried leaves and mushrooms joining it now, and even a bit of chocolate starting to show up in the flavors. And the juice right now is wonderfully sweet and actually warm from the fermentation, with lots of fizz from the CO2 being released. And something cool about being around crush pad while all these wines are being made is that you get to see so many other wines come together. So under one roof you get to see more than 10 different grape varieties, all handled with different winemaking plans. Something that crush pad is doing this year is submerging the cap rather than letting it float on top like we are for the Pinot 2.0 wine. They use a plastic barrier with holes in it to hold the cap underneath the juice, and then once a day you do a pump over where you actually pull the juice from the bottom of the fermenting bin and circulate that over the top of it to give it the necessary oxygen for fermentation. And it filters back through the skins to draw out those fine tannins and flavors. And you can see the bubbles escaping these submerged cap wines here. A submerged cap will emphasize the soft tannins that come from the skins, keeping them in contact with the juice at all times. And some of these fermentations are even fun to watch. Maybe not quite as fun as watching the bubbles come off the Rat Rosé, but these crazy bubbles are on top of a Pinot Noir, also an Anderson Valley Pinot Noir that has a submerged cap. Well, here we are back. It's been honestly 3 days since we last left looking at the pretty bubbles, and our fermentation is almost complete. There's almost no sugar left in our Pinot 2.0 juice. So we're about a day away from putting this stuff in barrel to let the aging process begin. And it's cooled off significantly. There's no heat coming off this anymore at all. So the fermentation is slowly trickling to an end. And we had a textbook fermentation. It took 7 days from start to finish to ferment all the sugar out of this wine. And the juice still has all of the dark cherry and black fruit flavors, but it now has more earthy, loamy characteristics as well. And the acidity is also noticeably high because the malic acid that's in here has not yet been converted to the softer lactic acid, which will take place in the barrel after we press this stuff and let the aging process begin. And it seems an odd thing to come to the end of this process. You spent months thinking about what you were going to do, weeks preparing, and then in a solid 14 days of night and day activity, the fermentation is over and you have to put it to bed in about a day. We'll put this stuff into a barrel and let it sleep for a little bit. So it seems a bit odd that you don't have anything to do with your time. So maybe I'll find a punch down to do around here or something like that. I don't know. I'm Alan Baker, the Cellar Rat, and I guess I'll see you around. Hello?